strange without I can't quit now, this can't be right. I can't take one more sleepless night without you. Without you. I won't stop, I won't climb if you're not here. Paralyzed without you. Without you. I can't look, I'm so blind. I lost my heart, I lost my mind without you. I am lost, I am vain. I will never be the same without you. Without you. Without you.
All right, hello, and welcome to Mackenzie Field for a season-deciding MIAA Women's Lacrosse Tournament matchup presented by Collegiate Credit Union, where the home team Kalamazoo Hornets take on the Trine Thunder. I'm Quentin Powers, and man, this has been long awaited for both teams this season. Being the commentator for the Hornets, of course, been monitoring their season closely, but Trine as well. This is season deciding. It's not the playoffs like the NBA, where it's a multiple game tournament. It's just dead on tournament right here. Win or lose, you go home. And both of these teams, of course, looking to win. Matched up earlier in the season where the Hornets took it away pretty thoroughly. It was a interesting game, to say the least. Trine with a very small roster. They have to make it work. They have to have players with a lot of stamina. And while they were in it for a little while, the Hornets in the third period during their matchup scored 8 goals to 1. And when they get hot, the Hornets just can't stop. Trine, on the other hand, had some pretty interesting matchups this season as well, though. Some notable wins, some really close matchups as well. Notable win at Alma, closer matchup against Calvin, win at Albion, and the preseason as well did a pretty solid job. But today, the matchups out there are interesting. Kalamazoo, a team that really focuses on their ball movement. They have actually 4 players with over 20 assists this season, a number that not a lot of other teams have in the MIAA. And Trine, on the other hand, kind of trusts that isolation. You've got Sydney Weiss with 40 goals, along with Isabel Dominski with 40 as well, and Ferriello, 36 goals. So those 3 are the players to watch out for on the offensive end. And, of course, for the Hornets, you already know Ella Spooner looking to get into top 3 in single scoring season records. I mean, she is sitting at 67 goals this season, doing a fantastic job. And also keep an eye out for Tessa Fuller as well. I'm going to mention, of course, she is the all-time assist leader at Kalamazoo College. I mean, she is just a great ball handler, finds the open teammate at all times. And so kind of a dynamic duo between those two out there on the field. And Trine looking to get the upset. You know, you look at the MIAA standings right now. Trine is that 5th seed. Kalamazoo is that 4th seed. Whoever wins this game has to go up against Hope College. Kalamazoo is the only team that has been able to beat Hope College in the MIAA this season. But either way, both teams are going to have a hard time against Hope. Hope has just been dominant, and going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But today, we've got to play out this game of our own and see where that takes us. And so just about to get started here for the starting lineups. And again, exciting. I mean, this is what the season is all about. You've only got a few games to play before you get into the tournament in lacrosse. You know, love it or hate it, gives you minimal time to prepare. And so now everything is on the line. So, going to let our announcer take it away, and I'll be back with you in just a second. But take a listen.
Presented by Collegiate Credit Union. Members of the MIAA are advocates of good sportsmanship and positive social behaviors for all constituents, including student athletes, coaches, administrators, and spectators. Please join the MIAA in providing a positive environment for today's competitors by refraining from making disparaging, racist, sexist, or other derogatory comments during today's events. The MIAA encourages all of today's participants, both in competition and in the stands, to be loud, be proud, and be positive. Now, today's match is at Mackenzie Field on the campus of Kalamazoo College. And today's women's lacrosse game is between Trine University and Kalamazoo College. Now for the starting lineup for today's game. First, from Trine University, number 5, Sammy Bunzendahl. Number 8, Elizabeth Larson. Number 9, Erin Ferriello. Number 12, Claire Schmaltz. Number 14, Isabel Dominski. Number 19, Isabel Fisher. Number 25, Evelyn Bilotti. 26, Sydney Weiss. 29, Carmen Blaine. 30, Jenna Johnson. Number 32, Hayden Dollinger. And 33, Kelsey Yanagihara. Trine University is coached by Kevin Cook. Now for the starting lineup for the Kalamazoo College team. Number 8, Sophie Hartel. Number 10, Ella Spooner. Number 11, Caitlin Grice. Number 13, Tessa Fuller. Number 15, Michaela Allen. Number 16, Eden Janitis. Number 17, Grace Barber. Number 18, Jordan Doyle. Number 19, Kennedy Hines. Number 24, Ansley Ware. Number 27, Mackenzie Newhall. and 29, Abby Kaza. Kalamazoo College's team is led by head coach Grayson Ringlever and assistant coach Kendall Havel. At this time, we ask that those who are willing and able, please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
All right, there you have our starting lineups for today, and I can't believe I didn't mention it myself. It is a beautiful day out there. We've been blessed with some fantastic weather. We're sitting at right around 68 degrees, maybe even a little bit warmer with all this really great sun, slight breeze here and there. Nothing you can complain about. This is a perfect conditions, aside from maybe wearing a little bit of sunscreen, nothing to complain about at all. Now, some interesting matchups we want to compare today. Grice, the goalkeeper for Kalamazoo College, sitting at around 42% in save percentage in conference at the moment. On the season, right around 38%. But there have been some tough games where Kalamazoo is facing off against some really, really talented teams. As we know, Kenyon, one of the best teams they have played. And for Trine, goalkeeper Yanagihara, 48% save percentage, and in conference that just sits right around there as well. I mean, she is having herself a fantastic season, and I mean, this Kalamazoo College team did give her a little bit of a hard time, certainly, but I mean, with such an offensive powerhouse in Spooner, Fuller, and Kaza, it's hard to beat. But today, I bet you Trine, they're going to try their best. They're going to have everything on the line, and you never know, an upset could be in store. So almost ready to start it off here, and just so you know, we do not have a score bug here today, so I'm going to do my best to mention the time, scoring, and everything that I can for you. And you hear everyone getting pumped up, but waiting for the referees to even start the draw between the two. And I mean, still taking our time. You see the athletes communicating with each other, and this is great. This Kalamazoo College Hornets women's team, they're doing a fantastic job this season, and they've done a fantastic job in seasons before. Spooner, especially one of the seniors on this team, I'll be mentioning the seniors as we go along, because this might be one of the last home games they play on this field. So we're looking at Spooner, one of the seniors, played on some fantastic Kalamazoo College teams. I mean, a lot on the line for her today, kind of getting up there in the record books. And we also see Kaza, just a solid player. I mean, if you need someone to handle the ball, find an open player, Kaza is one of the people to look out for. And, of course, Sophie Hartle, just another solid player out of Ada, Michigan, one of the two players from Forest Hill Central on this team, along with Grace Barber. And looks like we're just about ready to take it off here. And here we go. So Trine is going to take this one right away. Got some good pressure, though, from the Hornets at the moment. And so they're going to have to reset. This team, when they faced off against the Hornets, had some tough time getting the clears. A lot of turnovers for them. And now they are on the offensive end, so no worries there at all. And now trying to look around. Ferriello with it now, swings up top. Still swinging around. And this offense, as I said, not super pass focused, really trusting their players to start the dodge and get through the defense. Hornets defense has been looking better and better as this season has gone on. And I mean, right now, good pressure right there. Barber trying to pick it up for the Hornets. And Trine still coming away with it. I mean, this one's still out. Might be hard to see with all the sun, but Janitis, the freshman, is going to take that one away. And so gives it up to Spooner, of course. Spooner on a track race. She's got room. She looks like she's going to attack. That shot's off, and a great save from Yanagihara. But passing it upfield, where it's going to pick it up for the Hornets. So already trying to fix those errors. Got to take your time after you get a nice save like that with one of the leading goal scorers in the MIAA off Spooner. So the Hornets swing to Hartle. Now Doyle inside to Kaza. Doyle, another one of the seniors on that offensive end. Hines swings back to Spooner. Taking their time right now. Hartle gets some good pressure from Blaine. Now on the inside, Doyle had some room, but is going to have to give it up to Ware. Ware looking around now, gives it back. And the Hornets taking their time right now, but some good defense from Trine, stopping them from getting on the inside. Spooner, a nice pass down low, but that one's going to be kicked right back out to Hine. Hine trying to make a move, now back inside, and this one just picked off by Bellotti. But again, it's picked up. My goodness. Right now, Ware is just getting everything off the ground early in this game. Hartle to Spooner. Spooner swallowed up by 3 defenders. The slide came quick. Now gives it back to Hine. Hine to Kaza, looking for that cut here. Fuller almost open. Fuller, there you go. High and good. Fuller's through to start out this game. And that's a great way.
From number 13, Tessa Fuller.
A great way to start out the game for Fuller. I mean, once you get her started, the whole team kind of turns on and turns it up as well. So good to see her get on the board nice and early, starting this game off. And just under 12 minutes left in this first period. The score is 1-0 now. The Hornets get the first points on the board. So Spooner back on that draw. You'll see the Hornets switch their players at the draw a couple times. Fuller has done it, Spooner and Hine. And this one's going to be picked up by Hine. Hine's getting pressure from Larson. Some good pressure there, and a nice pass, though, to get out of it to Spooner. So taking her time, Spooner just looking around. You don't need to rush. When you got 90 seconds on the shot clock, you can do whatever you would like. And Spooner just going to keep swinging. They do such a great job of keeping defenders on their toes. That has been the biggest problem for teams on the defensive end against the Hornets, is finding the right slides, finding where to help, and right now running this zone kind of defense, trying to crack it. And there, a nice pass from Doyle inside to Kaza. Kaza just high. But Hornets are going to retain. So Ware to Doyle, Doyle to Kaza. Kaza to Spooner. Spooner tried to take the shot, but it just slipped out. They're going to keep holding on to it, though. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Now Hartle back to Spooner. Spooner inside. Fuller low. And this one's picked up by Yanagihara. So now just want to make sure they can get the clear. You don't want to take too many risks, make any rough passes. And honestly, it looks like she's just going to want to take it all the way. But a nice pass there to Ferriello. And now they have a chance on the offensive end to respond. Just swinging into 10 minutes left in this first period. An early start here. Hornets on the board, 1-0. Trine passes inside. Looking around, but has to give it back out. Dollinger off the pass. Looks like it might have been tipped, so it's going to stay with them. So still swinging, still looking, trying to get something going is Larson. Larson's shot is saved by Grice. Larson had some decent room to get a shot off, but I don't think enough windup to get through. And now the Hornets just moving and successfully get the clear. So pass to Spooner now. Ooh, but the cut just a little bit behind Hind. And this one's still out in the air. Spooner is able to pick it up. And man, I feel as if the sun or something might be affecting the players, and now it's going to be something is called. Not too sure where, but looks like the Hornets are going to keep it either way. So Janitis has it. And so that's going to reset the shot clock for them again. Letting Ware just kind of move it around as they do. And you see how much off-ball movement they had. Hind, a nice spin, though, to recover. There, Cavs it down low to Fuller. But, man, that one is just deflected, but picked up again by Hartle. And just moving it around. Going into this game, Kalamazoo sitting 5-2 in conference play. One of those losses is to Calvin, the other one to Adrian. That's a low shot, but looks like hits the top of the goalpost. I think it bounced in. And this one's going to count, giving the Hornets a 2-goal lead, 2-0 to start this game. Right at the 8 and 12 minute mark in the first period. So Spooner with the goal. Great work there by the Hornets again to pass it around. And you see almost every single goal they score is off an assist. And if it's not off an assist, it's most likely Spooner taking it in for herself and getting something done. But right there, a nice pass from Ansley Ware. Ware started out the season kind of as a defensive player. Today, she's getting a lot more playing time on the offensive end because Marin Miroslavic is going to be sitting out. Spooner picks it up after the turnover happens. Wants to go all the way, but a great stop there on the defensive end from, I believe, Bellotti. So swinging outside to Hartle again. Giving it back to the X position here. And this is where the Hornets get you. Off passes like that to Fuller. And Fuller is back in it on the board again.
And that's a score for the Hornets, number 13, Tessa Fuller.
And Fuller again gets the goal, 3-0. Getting more and more comfortable and doing their best right now. Gonna have Trine call a timeout. And allow their players to sit in the shade for a little bit. And I'm curious how much the sun is affecting them right now. A lot of passes just kind of off. Might be hard to see the ball. The sun is just in the perfect position to impact something like that. But again, doubt it makes too much of a difference. I mean, these women are very good at the sport, of course. But as we hit into timeout now, just a little bit of a recap on the stats. The Hornets have just been dominating the offensive end. Trine had a couple moments there I believe they've had 2 possessions so far on the offense, and one of them did result in a shot, but a good save from Grice. So right now, Hornets, things are working well for them, trying defensively, also doing a decent job of not giving them too many open looks. But those ground balls right now, Hornets picking them up, making the impact on the defensive end. Great defense leads to great offense. And now it's given them a pretty nice lead. Earlier today, the men's lacrosse team competed against Alma, I believe, and did not have the greatest outcome for them. You know, tried their best, or excuse me, man, I was wrong. The baseball team played Alma today, and the men's lacrosse team played Trine, where struggled just a little bit at Trine. They played them earlier in the season, and so the men's lacrosse team, although they did make the men's tournament, just unable to continue into the next round. But hopefully this women's team can kind of redeem them and do their best out there. And so far things are going great for them, that's for sure. And here at Kalamazoo College, a lot of schools, big universities, Trine University maybe as well. School might be wrapping up soon for them. But here at Kalamazoo College, we're only on week 4 out of the 10 weeks. We've got a lot of time left in the school year. And so right now, as you hit the tournament, a lot of our athletes are just kind of hitting their midterms in the trimester season. Their 3rd trimester here at Kalamazoo College during the springtime. And so just something to keep in mind there. We always talk about, me and Maya Placius talk quite a bit about how being a student athlete is so hard to manage between your finals, working out, and playing your sport. And it's always just something to keep in mind. But as a student athlete, you always find a way to make it work. And so, draw up in the air after the timeout. Let's see what changes Trine made. Off the tip, though, already a little bit more intensity, trying to pick it up, and they do. Looks like Ferriello has it. Ferriello on the sprint, and a good job by Spooner to just hit that one out. Coming from behind, so a caused turnover by Spooner. Has 37 caused turnovers this year. I mean, she's all over the place. So now, back on the offensive end for the Hornets. I mean, said this a million times now. Another goal from Spooner. My goodness, they just cannot be stopped.
And that's a goal for the Hornets, number 10, Ella Spooner.
So both Spooner and Fuller with 10 goals today. Or excuse me, 10 goals. Just heard Spooner's number and went with it. But no, both Ella Spooner and Tessa Fuller with 2 goals on the day. Doubling up 4-0 with just under 7 minutes left in this first period. Starting out hot. And so whatever changes Trine made, maybe we're on the offensive end, maybe we're just minor things, but Hornets making it work. So back to the draw is Spooner. Hornets this season have done a solid job on the draws, believe winning majority of them. And yes, that would be the case. So now, Trine though is going to take this one away as they confirm that clear. Ferriello with it. Swings it out to Dollinger, and now getting that nice reset, getting all the assets on the offensive end. Still swinging around. You saw the cut come from Trine, no open. And some good defense right now from Mackenzie Newhall. Newhall really pressuring right now. You see Weiss just kind of sitting in the back there. Gives it up to Ferriello. Ferriello wants to go in on Ware. Very physical right now. Ware with some good defense, but an opening for Ferriello. And a great job by Ferriello, doing some good work.
For the Thunder, number 9, Aaron Ferriello.
Going to work on Ware. And, you know, Ware, one of the best defenders on this Hornets team. at least with ball pressure. But, man, Fariello, that's going to be her 41st goal this season. Just adding to that number and trying to keep their team in it this first half. So it's going to be 4-1. Trine is down. Hornets take the lead still. And back to the draw we go. So always the patient wait for the draw. It's always kind of antsy situation for everyone. Just gets silent out there. Everyone wanting to get the ball, and now Hind gets it. So passing it up to Fuller now inside to Hartle. Hartle can shoot. Hartle does, but a good save. Bayana Gihara just fell right into her stick, and now where too much contact on Fisher. And so Fisher, of course, going to be given that one. And letting everyone set up here, seems so. Just waiting for the official. And so now Ware is going to have to take a seat. And this one's going to be a long one for Ware, actually. It's going to be a 2-minute break. This gives Trine a really great chance of taking advantage of it. For the Hornets, it doesn't matter because they're making the impact. Doyle looking to shoot and does and scores. Even with Ware out, they get one to go. And that one's going to be Doyle.
Number 18, Jordan Doyle.
And Doyle this season able to score quite a bit more than seasons before just because she is such a great passer, has more assists than goals this season. But now that's going to be her 22nd goal this year and giving them a 5-1 lead with around 5 minutes and 30 seconds in the first period remaining. And so back to the draw again, and now this one on the loose, picked up by Dominski. Dominski running it down, and Dominski, nice pass there. Hornets, can they set up in time? They do. They get some contact, but that one's going to be called right away. Believe this is going to be a free position shot for Trine. And yes, it is. So free position this season sitting at around 46% goal rate. Pretty solid number. Let's see how Caitlin Grice can react. Shots off, and that one's good for Dollinger. And Dollinger is on the board now, keeping them in it again.
For the Thunder, number 32, Hayden Dollinger.
And that's going to be a 5-2. Still the Hornets with the lead, but Trine still sticking in this one. And I think that one there, with Ware taking a seat, made all the difference. If you don't have time to get into your defensive positioning when you have a player sitting out, it's hard to recover. And moment right there, you see them try to overcompensate, and a foul's called, letting the free position come away. And here we are back to the draw again. So high scoring in this first period, 7 goals in total. I mean, it's going to be a high scoring game if the trend continues. And this one goes way out there to Hartle to pick up. So Hartle picking it up, giving it to Fuller on the other end, looking for Spooner on the cross, and now something is going to be called, I believe it. Green card is pulled out. And it looks like now 2 players are going to be sitting. Number 19, Fisher, is going to take a seat. The freshman from Liberty Township, Ohio. Believe she was the one Ware committed a foul on earlier in this game. And now is going to be taking a seat there. So interesting right now. Both teams got a player sitting out. Let's see how both teams can adjust. So Kaza to Hind. Hind now to Hartle. Hartle gives it to Spooner. Looks like she might have been looking for Doyle. And when you have situations like this, you take your time. That's what the Hornets do. Defensively, let's see if Trine can start to put a little pressure on the ball. You don't want to overcommit and allow your opponent to get through the lane. This pass is just off. I believe it was tipped. And now picked up by the goalkeeper for Trine, Yana Gihara. Excuse me, Gihara. Yana Gihara. So now on the sprint is Ferriello, and Ferriello is quick, I'll tell you. And they're still on the attack. That pass, I think, went into another player. And now a yellow is going to be called. Man, a whole lot being called. And it looks like as a player comes in, as Fisher comes in, a player goes out. I think Larson is going to have to take a seat. And Newhall is going to hold on to this one. That's a complete turnover and penalty. So that's good for the Hornets. And both teams right now in this first period, an eventful first period with everyone getting calls all over the place. Surprising to see. But then again, it is MIAA tournament time. Always talk about the physicality when you go into any sort of MIAA game, no matter if it's a tournament. It's just the stakes are higher, players with more energy and ambition. And today, I think that can definitely be applied. So Doyle pass just, I think, maybe gets tipped or might have lost it. Still fighting for it, though. Hartle picks it up. Hartle always is picking those things up. And so now we're back in off the penalty. They've got numbers. Doyle shot. Ooh, might have not been a shot, actually. Looks like she was finding Kaza, but Kaza in the wrong position. And gets picked up by Yana Gihara. So pass upfield to Dominski. Dominski losing it, though, and now Hartle picks it up again. On the ball today, Hartle finding it. Where a nice pass to Spooner. Spooner low, bounces in and good. And Spooner playing well. That's going to be her hat trick in the first period. It's happened before. Spooner, last time she played this Trine Thunder team, scored 7. And I mean 7 goals. Man, that is impressive, to say the least. So now looking at the time and the score, Hornets leading 6-2 against Trine University. And time remaining just over 2 minutes and 30 seconds in this first period. I mean, again, eventful. I've said it a couple times now, but I think that's the best way you can describe everything that's going on. And so draw is up in the air, fighting for it. No one's holding on. Sticks clashing, and Spooner runs away with it. Spooner on the loose. Looking, finds Hartle. Hartle looking to score, but there, kind of ducks her way out. Some good slides come in from Trine, and now you have even numbers. Everyone's back in. So both teams looking to stay clean on the offense and defensive end. You don't want to get any more penalties. Those really are detrimental. You want to take advantage of every moment you have an extra player available to score. And the Hornets and Trine did, in fact. Both of them kind of profited off of that. Now a nice pass from Spooner inside. Janitis takes a shot. Man, it looked like it was going to go through. But now Fuller cleans it up after the pass from Doyle. Man, these Hornets right now, they're cooking on the offensive end. It didn't take long for him to get back on the board again. And now you've got a 7-2 game. Hornets with the lead. Only 50 seconds came off the clock there after the race in the draw. And now a minute 40 in this first period. and I don't think we hold the most specific of stats, but I'm curious, how many goals overall for both teams is the most amount of goals scored in a period? Maybe that's something should start looking at in the record books, because right now 9 total goals in the first period is I mean, that's something special. So still setting up the draw. Dominski going to be fighting for it here, and that one flies up. Excuse me, it's going to be Fisher fighting for the draw against Spooner. This one's still loose, and now it's picked up by Ferriello. Ferriello all over the place for Trine. Looks like she's going to want to score here. She slips through, and man, gets hit hard. And that one is, of course, going to be called and give her an opportunity to make up and try to get a shot off. And you wonder, when you're on a fast break like that, do you compare it to basketball? Do you want to foul sometimes? But there, that was a hard hit. And Ferriello with a chance. Ferriello gets close, shots off. Kind of funky bounce, but works either way. And that's going to be a goal for number 9, Aaron Ferriello. And that's going to be Ferriello's second goal, making this game a little bit closer. Hornets with a 4-goal lead, 7-3. And they only took them 30 seconds to score as well. Man, both teams defensively really want to start picking it up, I think. But you also can't complain about your offense flowing like it has been for the Hornets. And Trine starting to pick up some speed as well. So as the sun starts to get just a little bit lower, you see the shadows starting to come onto the field. It's quite the sight. I mean, we've seen some beautiful sunsets here. Maybe we'll get a chance to see one if this game goes long enough for that. And now, this is going to go straight to Hind off the draw. So Hind on the loose to Kaza. Kaza almost had a moment to Fuller on the inside. And Spooner, quick trigger from Doyle. No problem about it.
And that's a goal for the Hornets, number 10, Ella Spooner.
And when you get the crash off a nice draw opportunity, you catch the other team off guard. Everything is working right now for them. And, man, now we're looking at just around 51 seconds left in this first period. Hornets 8-3. So back to the draw. Running on in. This one looks like it's going to go to Fisher, but Hartle just comes out of nowhere to pick it up. Hartle swings back to Doyle. Doyle back right at her. And their pass just a little bit off. Ware's going to fight for it, but this one is picked up by Dominski. And now it's picked up again by Newhall. Newhall holding in a nice job to get herself out of trouble to Hartle. So some high pressure from Trine right now. Looks like they're trying to get that turnover as the clock ticks down to 0. If the Hornets can hold on, which I believe they are going to, they can just take it into the next period with possession. So time does tick down to 0, and the first period, my goodness, was an eventful one. 8-3, Hornets with the lead. Some statistics right now. I mean, there have been 13 shots by Kalamazoo, 5 by Trine. Some accuracy from Trine, I will say, but had 2 free position shot opportunities. And so just doing a great job offensively, the Hornets are. They haven't needed to do anything too fancy, just been finding their cuts, finding their drives. And Trine looking to crawl back into this one, though. You don't doubt it's tournament time. Something crazy can happen. So going to take a quick break here as we've got just about a minute going into that second period. I'll be right back with you in just a brief second. Okay, just about to go right back into action here. Players are going to be walking back out onto the field in this MIAA tournament playoff game presented by Collegiate Credit Union. And so far, man, it has been eventful. You can't ask for anything more on such a beautiful day like this. Great weather, great lacrosse, a lot of high scoring. And, man, again, you can't ask for much better. Spooner right now leading the Hornets with 4 goals. Fuller also with a hat trick with 3. And Fairy Yellow has kind of been driving this Trine team on the offensive end. Fairy Yellow just has been running it down. A lot of those goals have been just kind of getting ahead of the game, you know, putting their head in the right place, having an extra little speed boost out there. And now Julia Colzel pass is just going to be a little wide. I think the pass from Hartle just a little off. And Colzel this season hasn't gotten a lot of playing time, but she's back for the Hornets. And there, man, a big miscommunication by Trine. Trying to give it back to Yanagihara. But Jenna Johnson looks like it was cleaned up. So trying to give it downfield once again is Fairy Yellow. Fairy Yellow quick, sprinting, but good push. But there looks like Spooner's going to be called for it, man. So too much contact from Spooner, and that's tough. She's going to have to take a seat. I'll let you know how long when we get there. Excuse me, it was a green card. So she'll be out for a little while now, but nothing too crazy. This is going to give Trine an opportunity for a brief amount of time. So back to action we go. And Trine on the offensive end, they've got numbers. Looking around. And going to be another green card. Newhall is going to have to take a seat as well. So with extra numbers now, 2 players extra, you've got Trine on the offensive end. And the Hornets got to pull off a miracle if they want to make some big stops. Because, boy, is this just unfortunate for the Hornets. Too much contact, and the shot's going to be off quick. Fisher took it. Thankfully, you had another player to clean it up there. Weiss just sitting back. And again, Fisher wants to go, but a good slide from Hartle and Ware. Back to Fisher. A good deflection by Hartle. Hartle couldn't find it after she dropped it, and Ware picks it up. My goodness, the Hornets defense with a couple players down somehow were able to stop them. And this team has found a huge wave of success at the end of the season. They're all gelling together. Colzel with it, gives it to Hartle. But they're all gelling together. And the last few games have won 5 out of their 6 with 1 loss at Calvin. They ended the season hot. They're going into the postseason hot as well, with still a 5-goal lead. So Kaz getting some big pressure from Schmaltz. And now tried to find Fuller, but a risky pass at that. And it's going to be picked up. But now the Hornets get it right back again. So Kozel swinging. Kaza had some room. Slow shot. It looked good, but just wide. It was a smart one. You got 3 players. Sticks up. You want to go low in that situation. Kaza does, but couldn't find the accuracy. Kozel wanting to go to work. Be great to see her get on the board. Finding herself back into this lineup. Spin from Hind. Pass to Fuller's just off, and this one is going to be picked up by Trine and given to goalkeeper Yanagihara. So some good defense from Trine there. Doing their best. You've got all players back in for the Hornets. Kozel trying to run in and make that difference, but now with numbers, you see them kind of on that fast break. And another call again. Looks like Barber is going to be called for it. And today, just kind of surprising. Hornets not known to be super physical. The last home game they had against St. Mary's didn't have that kind of extra physicality. But that shot is picked up by Grice. Dominski, leading goal scorer now, or one of the leading goal scorers for this Trine University team. Stopped by Grice. So here comes Fuller. Fuller with space. Shots off and good. Yanagihara, I think, got tipped in the shoulder off the shot. And that's going to be Fuller's 4th goal, giving the Hornets a lead of 9-3. And man, the Hornets with a full head of steam. They came in today pumped and ready for the action. And so everyone just kind of resetting after that and trying. I mean, they're not playing that bad a defense, but it's just hard when there are so many weapons on the field and you get into situations like that where Fuller just sprints down the field and gets in front. Ooh, so looks like after the draws, something's going to be called, and it's going to be given right to Trine. And those ones are hard, especially when you're not up in the action. You can't exactly see what's going on down there. But either way, Trine with it, given a chance on the offensive end. Maybe if they can get set up into one of their sets, makes the difference. But there, Newhall, good job putting her stick out, getting the interception. And back to Grice we go, and to Barber. So the pressure on those clears from Trine is a little bit minimal. And this kind of gives the Hornets a chance to outrun them and get into that position where they feel most comfortable. Hind kind of slips through, a good slide though. Kozel, nice pass to Hartle. Hartle shots off and good again. Hornets are on a slaughter right now. That's going to give them a 10-3 lead, a 7-goal lead. And Hartle with a goal, her first in this game. And you like to hear the goal music afterwards. I don't know if you can on the broadcast, but it is fun, really immersive. These players picking them out themselves, of course. And man, just really good to see from the Hornets, trying, wanting to find a stride. And with 10 minutes in the second period remaining, there's still quite a few opportunities for that. So after the draw, one goes high to Hind. And Hartle swings to Spooner. Spooner, big hit. Shots off either way. Doesn't matter. Unfazed. There you have it, a 5th goal from Spooner.
And that's a goal for the Hornets, number 10, Ella Spooner.
And with just a few more goals, I believe this is going to put her into top 3 category for all-time goals in a single season. So keep our eye on that. We'll review that later near halftime and let you know the most accurate of descriptions there. But after a goal from Spooner again, man, the Hornets aren't just dominating. And really, not a lot of notes there. It's just been a good showing for them. Trine, on the other hand, they obviously have some tank in the gas. There's a lot of time left in this game. They can make the right adjustments. They're patient on the offensive end. They take advantage of those fast breaks. There's certainly a chance of them getting back into this one. Still, as I said, a lot of time in a game. So going to take a quick break here with around 9 minutes and 45 seconds for a timeout. Be back with you briefly. Okay, so players just whistled to come back onto the field. And, you know, just to kind of review the day a little bit, we can go over some brief statistics. And there's not a huge difference in draw controls or clears necessarily, although Trine does want to start becoming a little more consistent on their clears. But turnovers haven't been necessarily a problem for them. I think the problem that has been consistent, has been during the clears. The turnovers have just been very relevant. But when they get on the offensive end, they have not had it rough. They've been able to get some good shots off. It's just the consistency of getting there in the first place. But they're a draw. Goes to the Hornets, and that's something that's hard to beat when you're winning all the draws. Hornets have won 10 out of the 15 so far. So 9 minutes and 30 seconds. You can see it on the clock here. Fuller goes inside. That one just off the goalpost. It's still bouncing around, though. Oh, man, it looks like they're going to call it a goal. Sorry for the silence, but wasn't 100% sure. Must have just gotten on the inside of that goalpost, but hit the top, and it's through. And now Fuller is going to have 5 as well. So this is going to be a 12-3 game.
And that's a goal for the Hornets, number 13.
The Hornets doing a fantastic job, and if they get one more, that's going to be a running clock out there for them. But, man, Spooner and Fuller collectively 10 goals today, only in the first half. So this one's up in the air. Still fighting for it, and that one looks as if it's picked up by Ferriello. And Ferriello, I mean, just an obvious difference maker on the field. Doesn't panic in those types of situations. So ball is loose, picked up by Fisher, and going to be swung around the bend. Now that X Weiss gives it up To Dollinger. And still just kind of swinging around. Not a whole lot of off-ball movement right now, but you can tell a crash is about to come. Weiss on that outside, some good defense from Newhall. Weiss, though, gets a slip, shots off, and picked up by Grice. Grice, with the few moments she's had there where she's challenged, has proved herself worthy. So there, it looks like Newhall passes just a little high. Let's see the race to the ball. Kaza's there, picked up by Spooner. And now Ware on that offensive end. You see Colesville going to take a quick break. And now swinging around. So Trine deciding to play woman-on-woman defense, not doing that zone anymore. Let's see how it works for him. Spooner slide comes really early, which could be dangerous to leave Hartle or another player open. Now you see Fuller isolating. Good pass to Hartle, but Hartle picks it right back up, back to Fuller. Fuller thinks about shooting at that one. That one's low. And Yana Jahara almost chased after it, but Kaza beats her to the spot. Kaza passes to Fuller just off. Picked up on the outside by Spooner. Man, today they just have their eye on the ball at all times. Spooner, shot wide. I think that's her first shot that hasn't been on goal because she has just had some fantastic looks. Oh. Oh, man. Looks like I even missed myself with the sun. That one is going to be given right back to the Thunder. I believe shot clock was winding down there. So a successful defensive possession from the Thunder. That's something you can be happy about. Spooner pressuring, though. Bellotti. And Bellotti is taking it all the way. She's done this before. Let's see if she can find a nice pass. But, oh, tried to spin around, and Doyle with some good pressure, kind of blocking off that lane. Causing the mistake. And Doyle's going to have it. So Doyle gives it up to Ware. Ware downfield to Spooner, and the ball movement on point. Spooner gives it to Hind, and Hind to Hartle. You see them always start their offense out like this. You go back, and when you find Kaza in that X, she is dangerous. She's been quiet today, which is a little bit surprising. There, a nice pass down low. Hartle, ball pops out. Some good defense from Trine. Dominski can be credited with picking that one up. And now in the chase, you see Hind racing after it. Almost got the stop. But here we are with Weiss with it. Weiss gives it up outside to Dollinger. Dollinger almost to Dominski. And ground balls today have been doing great. Hartle, I think, might have gotten hit a little bit hard, or something happened where he might have slipped or something. I'm not too sure. Thankfully, she's okay and back on the move, so kind of a strange moment, but all is well. So now Allen is in for the Hornets, one of the basketball players on this team who played this season for the women's basketball team. Ware getting some high pressure on the inside. Going for it. Now you see Janitis on the offensive end as well. Janitis, one of the few freshmen that get a lot of playing time, and one of the few freshmen in general. This team isn't heavy loaded on the younger players. But good to see Janitis out there getting some offensive work. And with a comfortable lead of 12-3, the Hornets are letting some players get into the mix. 4 minutes remaining in this period. Shot from Hartle is wide left. And I think Yana Jahara was closer to the ball. And they're going to get possession here. So Johnson just rolls it there. Smart move, smart decision. After some tall pressure from Fuller. Yana Jahara passes. That pass is off. Picked up by Kozel. Kozel now gives it to Doyle. Doyle to Hartle on the inside. Hartle shot high off the bowl. And this one is going to stick with him. But a good pass. This is what I talk about. That cut right through the middle happens almost every time. And they find it almost every time. But a good strip there. And it's going to stay and go back to the Thunder. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Oh, now a card is pulled. Or I think Ware is getting another break, actually. Yeah, Ware is going to have to sit once again. I think it's just a green card pulled. Yeah, so just 1 minute for the green card. And a good steal from Dominski. Dominski, great offensive player, but kind of like Spooner, makes a difference on the defensive end as well. This ball is given to Larson. Larson on the run, and sometimes that's how you have to do it. Just run right through. Larson looking for Dollinger, but passes off. Thankfully was recovered for him. Bunzendahl now to the middle. Shot is off and saved, believe, by Grice, but that one actually might have went off the post. Either way, it was a close call. Can't always tell. So Barber making some nice moves and giving it to Janitis. Now upfield to Spooner. Barber, one of the players not on the stat sheet as much on the defensive end, but certainly a solid player, stays in all game, hasn't missed a game this season. Just fantastic how consistent she is out there. But on the offensive end, the Hornets today have been a consistent team. Been quiet in the last few minutes, though. Just underneath 2 minutes remaining in the half. And still score 12-3. The Hornets have that lead. Hartle swings it to Kaza. Kaza to Ware. Ware, let's see if she can pick it up. Still on the run. She does pick it up. And going to allow Doyle to reset from the X. Doyle gives it to Kozel. And now Spooner at that top of the key, trying to get inside to that third home. And now a low shot from Fuller is picked up by Yanagihara. And on the sprint again is Ferriello. Can't tell you how many times she's just confirmed clears like that and gotten it to the offensive end, but it's stripped from Ware. Ware is having herself a day all over the field. You see on every end. I mean, it's exhausting. But there you go. Just passes off and is going to go back to the Thunder. Dollinger trying to get some pressure from Barber. Barber falls, but is recovering and resetting from the Thunder. So on this offensive end, you've got about 20 seconds on that clock. They have to make a decision here. Still turning around. Looking on the inside is Weiss. Weiss, though, passes off. And with 9 seconds left in the half, you got to either sprint it downfield or just let your team breathe for a second. But Janitis, she wanted to just keep and hold on to it. That's probably the best idea. And so at halftime, the Hornets with a huge lead of 12-3. And the Hornets just seem unstoppable right now. Spooner with 5, Fuller with 5. Haven't scored a lot in the last few minutes, of course. But still, nothing to complain about. Feeling very comfortable out there. Some statistics we can look at, though. Clears have improved for Trine. I think you can credit a lot of that to the goals not being scored in the last few minutes. The Hornets have still maintained that intensity, but Trine kind of taking it up a notch in those last few minutes. doing a good job of redeeming themselves out there. And you see some of the differences, of course. You see 12 goals to 3, of course, 23 shots to 9. 16 of those 23 shots were on goal. And, I mean, everywhere else, the Hornets are doing all that they can to the best of their ability. So, I think right now that's all I can review. We've got 9 minutes until we go into the second half. But stick around with us here. Might be an interesting game. You never know what can happen in tournament time. I'm Quentin Powers. I'll be back with you in just about 8 minutes or so. All right, well, the quick halftime is about to come back into action. Just 20 seconds before we take it back off here. And, you know, if all things go in the right direction for Kalamazoo and they can just keep and maintain this lead, should be looking good into the second round where they face off against Hope. The big win of their season. You heard it last week at home where a lot of the seniors talked about how, hey, one of the things I'm most proud of here at Kalamazoo College is getting that win as a senior at Hope, against Hope. And, of course, you've got to be feeling good about that. And today, if they can get this win, they'll be looking good going into that matchup. And now, coming off the draw, Trine is going to take it. And so Trine on that offensive end. A little bit quiet today, 2 goals off those free position shots. If the Hornets clean it up, I mean, there's not a big struggle out there defensively for them. Just have to stay clean. Can't allow for penalties like that. So still swinging around. You see Weiss in that X position, swings back to Larson. Larson looked for Dominski. That was the right pass, but was just a little off. Hartle fighting for it and picks it up. Now Hartle on the run. Has some numbers. I mean, if a slide doesn't come, but oh no, some good defense either way from Bellotti. Now a whistle is blown. Way back, almost near half field. And still trying to figure out what's going on right now. Just kind of, I think the players are even confused. Still passing it back and forth to each other. Might be something going on with the shot clock. It's possible. It's happened a couple times. Across a couple different sports, actually. With some shot clock errors and clock errors. But this season, outdoors on the lacrosse field haven't had too many moments of confusion, but still right now trying to figure it out. You see them all the way downfield right in the middle trying to figure out what's going on. And, you know, it's always the worst when you come right out of halftime and you get some sort of big call, big foul. You have to talk it over and figure it out. Kind of just kills the momentum and vibe you were having coming out of halftime. And yet, so they are going to be adjusting that shot clock to 77 seconds. So it looks like just an 8-second difference for about a 2-minute break, which is always interesting, but figured it out, and now we're back to action here. Kaza in that X position and now in the shade as the sun starts to get even lower. Ware looking to make a move at the screen from Fuller. Ware with some room. That one just high and hits the post. And it's not going to have as much luck as Fuller did. But Ware there makes a good read and comes back from the pass. Spooner's going to pick it up and give them another opportunity on the offensive end. And with how well they're looking today offensively, you have got to feel pretty good about next week playing against Hope. And Hope this season, I mean, they don't necessarily lead in offensive and defensive stats in the MIAA this year, but they are just dominant. They do all the right things, make all the right decisions, and when the Hornets played against them, the Hornets just made the better decisions, really. And today, you can tell, this team is a lot different from where they were at the start of the season. Trine on the push. Looking to the inside, but some good defense from Janitis. Larson gives it to Bunzendahl. Now to Dominski and kind of gets a skip. Across the way. Weiss in that X position, having a hard time finding those cuts. Larson looking again. Just going to have to give it back to Weiss. Let's see if Weiss tries to go for the attack from that position on Newhall. Newhall, one of the great defenders. And now Janitis putting some pressure on Larson. A good slide comes from Hartle. Dominski working on Barber. Looking to get a shot. A nice move. That one slipped out of the hand, or no. Penalty is going to be called, giving them a free position shot. So this gives Dominski a chance to score. This is going to be, I believe, their fourth free position shot. Dominski low and good. And not too satisfied about it. They still have a lot of work to do if they want to get back into this game.
And that's a goal for the Thunder. Number 14, Isabel Dominski.
And a 12-4 Hornets still lead. 4 minutes, or excuse me, 3.5 minutes came off the clock there. And we've still got 11:30 to go in this third period. But it feels good for Trine to get the first points on the board in the second half. And it probably has got to feel good as a team to get opportunities like that. They're learning whenever they attack on the inside. There's been a lot of penalties called, giving them some pretty good chances, especially with those free position shots. So on the draw, Hartle in a race against Larson. And Hartle is going to come away. Hartle getting some pressure from behind and does a good job to avoid. So Kaza back to Doyle and a Hind. And these cuts, I mean, they're just so consistent and persistent. It's hard to know when they're coming and where they're going to go. But there, as I say that, a good read from Trine. Yanagihara picks it up. And now gives it to Schmaltz. Schmaltz kind of gets a light screen from Johnson. And now she's just going to sprint the clear. They've done a great job of being a little more persistent, consistent there. Confirming the clears there. A pass to Dominski. Dominski is going to get another chance at it. And man, another penalty is called, but you can't really complain about it just because, I mean, you see it for yourself. Some big contact. But doesn't look like it's going to be a free position shot, actually. Just going to be given possession on the outside. Going to be outside. So, yes, no free position shot. Just restarting the possession. But still good to note that struggle the Hornets had. Dominski, there you go. And now she's kind of pumped up. She's feeling it. Getting herself back into this game.
Thunder, number 14, Isabel Dominski.
And Dominski not scoring at all in that first half. It's got to be frustrating for her. She sees the goal quite a bit. And there, makes the right move. So it looks like the Hornets are going to call a timeout, talk this one over, discuss what's going on. And really, I think for the main discussion is you got to get those slides on Dominski. Dominski's got some good moves, gets her way through, and finds some nice shots. Although one of them was a free position, still, those fouls are committed because you're uncomfortable. You're in the wrong position on the defensive end. And with this timeout, going to take a quick break here. 9 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in this period. 12-5. Hornets with that lead. We'll be back with you in just a second. So players just now coming out of the timeout. And you hear it's kind of quiet in the stands here. You're able to hear teams doing that countdown, coming back onto the field. You hear the Thunder still kind of amped up. Haven't lost their tenacity and energy. You're down 7. How do you operate? You got to operate quick. You got to keep that high energy, that's for sure. And Dominski doing a good job getting those 2 goals back to back. And the Hornets scoreless in the second half so far. Although they did just control that draw. Hartle and Hind do such a good job of hawking down the ball. And I think today, always have to give credit those kind of utilities. Here, Fuller swings through nothing. Good save, but it slips out again from Trine. Fighting for it is Fisher. But the Hornets put some extra pressure. Fisher couldn't escape. So Spooner now has it. And Spooner has a tough matchup against Bellotti. Good pass, though, to Hartle. There you have it again. Hartle on the board. And if Spooner's not scoring, she's giving it up in a good fashion. Pays off nicely for him. They've got themselves an even bigger lead. Not letting Trine come back into this one. It's going to be 13-5. After a great pass from Spooner to Hartle. You've got only 3 goal scorers today with 13 goals. Usually you see Kalamazoo kind of spread the wealth, but Fuller and Spooner just getting it done. And so off this draw, you see Hartle run to it again. And man, she just cannot be stopped. Got to make sure, though, she stays persistent. And ooh, looks like Weiss kind of fell, really going for it there. So some good commitment, though. And Kaza is going to be coming around the bend. Gives it up to Fuller. Fuller, as I mentioned, all-time leader in assists at Kalamazoo College. Is only going to go higher. And in the inside, though, doesn't matter. She doesn't need to give it up. A great shot. Kind of sidearms, excuse me. Up in the lead even more. Again, 2 goals in response from Trine. And 2 goals right back at him from the Hornets. And this season, you can also note Tessa Fuller is going to be getting her way into the top 10 in the scoring records as well. This is going to be her 60th goal this season. That puts her, I believe, at the number 6 spot in the record books. And truly, although the Hornets kind of have an equal record of 9 and 8, a historic season for them with some dominant players. Hartle again off the draw. That has been one aspect of this game that has also been a little lopsided. Of course, the score, but draw controls now, 14 out of the 21. You know, it's a number to keep in mind for Trine as this game gets later and later. Fuller, she going to go for it again? No. Nice pass to Doyle. Doyle just going to escape out of there. Gives it to Hartle. Hartle looked, but a good slide there from Dominski. Spooner making a move. Shot, long one. One's going to go out of bounds, but stay with Kaza in that position. And now you see a whistle being called. For what reason? Not too sure. I see her talking to Coach Cook of Trine, but doesn't really matter where the whistle was. Hornets with 35 seconds on the shot clock. Going to have to make a decision soon. Sooner rather than later. And Ware on this outside making a move. Ware doesn't score quite a bit. Kind of more there to make the difference during the midfield and those clears. Gives it to Spooner. Spooner, shot, low, saved, just barely. I mean, almost found its way into the goal and rolled in after Yana Jahara saves it. And now Fisher passing it upfield. Sprinting down Dominski, has numbers. Janitis has to get on ball, and man, that's just unfortunate. Had some numbers, and Bunzendahl couldn't find the ball. So Janitis there. Doing a good job trying to find Ware. Ware picks it up either way, though. Fisher didn't seem to have her eye on the ball. Ware pushing, has some numbers, but a nice hit from behind. A good job from Blaine. So Ware thought she had some room to make a move, but does not. And you see her, man, she always is committed to trying to get the ball back, but Fisher still there. Now going on the inside. A shot is off from Dollinger. I mean, she towers over other players. But it doesn't end up working out for her. I mean, that's the type of shot you want on those fast breaks. Majority of these moments for the Thunder in that first half especially have been shots off the fast breaks when you have those types of numbers, but unfortunate for them there. So Hornets back on the offensive end. It starts to get a little bit cooler as the sun is setting. And these players get a little bit more shade. Don't know whether or not you can credit some more pass accuracy. You got the yellow sun, you got the yellow ball. How much of a difference that makes, I don't know. Not your guy to ask on that one, but Spooner with it. Does she want to go to work? No. Takes herself out. Still thinking about it. Gets crowded. Some good defense, though, and the pass is prohibited. So some good defense from Ferriello, but picked up from Janitis. Janitis to Kaza. Good from Kaza. Kaza's on the board as well, giving all the seniors an opportunity today. The Hornets have a 10-goal lead now. You can see that clock keep ticking down here in the MIAA playoffs presented by Collegiate Credit Union. And so 15-5, 3 minutes and 30 seconds ticking on that clock. And you see, and maybe you can hear the good turnout of fans here at Kalamazoo College, excited about this. And you see Spooner also just doing all of the draws today. You've seen Fuller do it a couple times. You've seen Hartle do it a couple times. But it looks like Fuller is going to be doing all the work. And speaking of doing all the work, back on the offensive end are the Hornets. I mean, they've had some high-scoring games this year. But in the third period with 15, I don't think they've seen this a whole lot besides for that game maybe at that game they had here against Elmhurst. So Kozel gives it to Fuller. Does Fuller want to add more to her scoring? But Spooner does. There you go. Now Spooner's got 6. It's like her and Fuller are competing. Who can score more? 2 players with 6 goals. My goodness. You can't make these things up. 16-5, 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in this one. And you see him kind of running back slowly. You can take your time with a lead like this. And what started off the second half as Trine dominated in those first, I think, 5 or 6 minutes or so, quickly adjusted back to the Hornets. And all good signs. Still a whole period left to play. Fighting for it. Ware now is going to be helping the draw, and Ware picks it up. Ware, nice pass. Looking for Hartle, but that one actually was wide. Let's see if Doyle can stop it, and does, before going out of bounds. Doyle's going to give it up to Colzel. Again, it's good to see Colzel back in. She hasn't been able to play a whole lot this season. And so being in games like this is important. A junior who has a year left. Very talented, so it's nice to see. Kaza coming in the X, spins, trying to go to work on Johnson, but just going to have to give it back to Spooner. Spooner gets the screen from Kaza. Good job adjusting. And Yana Jahara just picks it up. And way to man the middle. Yana Jahara is just always there. I mean, that's what a goalkeeper should do. Not only get the saves, but also just pick up those errors that the Hornets have made today. And give her certainly some credit. She's had to face a lot. Already 32 shots she's had to face. So 20 seconds ticking down left in this period. Trine trying to make it into the inside, and that pass just kind of slips out. Still fighting for it. Dollinger down low. Ball is still loose. Hartle now just gives it to Grice, and Grice passes it downfield. And you see it there. The Hornets doing a good job on the defensive end.
And at the end of the third quarter, the score stands 16-5, Kalamazoo.
And you hear it there, 16-5. Hornets 11-point lead. Not much more you can ask for the Hornets today. And Trine going to need a miracle if they want to come back in this fourth period. Some stats we can briefly look at is 13 out of these 16 goals for the Hornets have been off of assists, which is impressive. An impressive number to look at, and everyone's getting in on the action. And also some things to note. Clears have started to get a little bit better for Trine, but still, Aaron, right around that 55%. That's a number they really wanted to improve on today, and it's kind of on and off. When they get the clear, they have decent offensive possession, but, man, it's been a tough one for them. Draw controls, the Hornets taking even a bigger lead. They've gotten 16 out of the 23. I mean, just dominating there. And both teams kind of sitting around the same aspect in turnovers. That's for your stats. But just watching the game, really you can see how much the Hornets put into their offensive sets, how well they know the sets, how well they kind of communicate as a team, almost without saying anything. You know, you can talk on the field, on the court, whatever sport you're playing, but if you just have that chemistry, things will work for you. So 50 seconds left. I'm going to give myself a brief break from talking, take a sip of water, and just stick around. We'll be back. And so, coming out of the timeout, back for another 15 minutes in the fourth period, dominated by the Hornets. And You know, you see Coach Cook for trying to encourage his players, and you can tell it's always hard, especially as a player and a coach, when you're down like this. What do you tell him necessarily? And Cook, this is his 4th year coaching this Trine team, and in those seasons, I mean, he's coached some fantastic teams that have been to the MIAA championship game and so forth. Dominski, if you didn't know, was the MIAA Rookie of the Year, and I mean, he has himself some really great players. Just this season, didn't quite end up working out when they came into conference play. And now we see Kaza on the offensive end for the Hornets. You can tell Trine has all the right aspects to be a fantastic team. I think today the difference, I mentioned the draws, but also those clears. If you're not getting your clears, you don't know how much of a difference that makes. So Schneiderwind now in, another one of the freshmen, few freshmen on this Kalamazoo team. Gives it up to Hartle. And we've almost got full shade out there. Hartle just loses it. Picked up by Fuller. 18 seconds on that shot clock. Swings through the middle. A good slide, though, from Larson. Kaza, low shot, kind of behind the back. Somehow Doyle recovers it. And with 5 seconds left, you really need to find someone. A nice pass to Schneiderwind. And Schneiderwind now. The freshman only seen a couple goals this season, adding to her number. And that has got to feel great. I mean, Schneiderwind only 2 goals before coming into today. That's going to be her 3rd and her 1st ever goal in the MIAA tournament.
And that's a goal for the Hornets, number 9, Molly Schneiderwind.
And so, always something great when you see those players who haven't played as much time as normal starters. I mean, she has played 12 games this season, but just great, especially as the shot clock's coming down. Did it in nice fashion. So 17-5, just about 12 minutes and 45 seconds left in this game. And Spooner, of course, back to the draw. Hartle in a race with Larson. Does a good job angling herself. And now has it. Hartle's going to give it to Fuller. Fuller tried to find Spooner. That's that classic 1-2. Pass from the corner to Spooner on the inside. This one's still fought for. Larson did a good job defensively to pick it up, but more credit to Fuller and Hind to not give up on the play. So Doyle now gives it to Kaza. Going to get that screen. And almost every single starter for the Hornets has scored aside for Hind today. And Spooner's getting pressured up top high, which is a risky business for the Thunder. I mean, she will outplay you on the offensive end. Doyle, though, does a good job of angling herself in the right position again. And Doyle's going to have her 2nd goal of the day. Number 18 gets the 18th goal for the Hornets. Upping that lead to 13. And we've got about 11 minutes left in this game. You see some subs coming in for the Hornets, giving Barber a break on that defensive end. But today, haven't had to see too much defensively, especially in this period thus far. So that clock is still ticking. I mentioned earlier, you know, we might get to see a beautiful sunset, but, I mean, clear skies today. Just gives ourselves a nice, classic spring day. And what a great way to kind of start spring with some beautiful weather. And near the end of the lacrosse season for both men and women's lacrosse. It's always nice. You start the season out with some snow on the field, 30-degree weather sometimes, and today, nearing the end, you get the beautiful weather they've been blessed with. Fuller, I believe, got hit kind of in the face. Not 100% though if she did. But either way, going to get that free position shot. Even more chances to score. Her and Spooner in a race to get to new records. But they are a really good job from Iana Jahara. Just picking it up, reading it well, and remaining calm. It always impresses me how these goalkeepers don't panic when they're in moments like that. I mean, hey, it is college sports. You'd hope they wouldn't panic. There you see Spooner almost get the turnover. But a good job from trying to pick it up. So Larson swinging around to Dominski. And now Newhall, I mean, just takes it out of the air. Newhall today doing a good job working around the X defensively. And there the pass to Hind, just a little too high from Grice. Doesn't happen too often where they can't stay safe on the clear. And so today, I believe that's going to only be the third clear not able to commit to. And so gives Thunder another chance. Trying to cut into that lead just a tiny bit. And now coming in on the inside's Weiss. Weiss has been quiet, and a good save from Grice. Nicely done. Kind of off balance. Just traces the ball. And Newhall passing it upfield to Ware. Ware trying to go to work and does get through. So now Kaza back to Doyle, and with 7 minutes and 45 seconds, you don't get that glare on the board anymore, so you can probably see it just as clear as I can if it's in picture. Hind, though, gets some good pressure from Trine. Bellotti, but Hind gets it right back, and Fuller picks it up. Fuller gets that screen and can just reset. You don't need to hurry. You can take your time offensively, and I talk with other commentators about what do you do when you have such a nice, comfortable lead. And my FCS always tells me, hey, you just run your offense, you keep it going, you give some players who haven't gotten a lot of playing time this season some opportunities. And I 100% agree. This is their time to get shots like that off for Ware. You want Ware to score. She does, on the stat sheet, doesn't get nearly enough credit as she should because of how much of a difference she does make. There you have Hind with a shot, and now you've got all the starters with a goal today, on that offensive end at least. Hind.
A goal for the Hornets, number 19, Kennedy Hind.
Hind with one. And you're still looking to get Ware on the board there too. But good to see Kennedy Hind. If you've watched Hind play, you know as well, her and Ware both make that huge defensive impact. And Hind being on the offensive end as well, able to do stuff like that. And today, a day to remember for the Hornets. And man, if you think about it, this Hornets team is a little bit scary. You look at Calvin and Hope, don't have to face anyone. But next week, if Hope has to go against Kalamazoo, the Hornets really have just been their one weakness this season. And with the way they have been playing, I don't know how Hope will adjust. It just seems they have gotten better slowly and steady, and then near the end, just kind of an exponential thing, finding their way to the top of the bell curve. But it doesn't feel like there's a bell curve right now. They do so well. Kaza just cooking all over the place. Escaping. Colesel gives it up to Hartle. And now we got full shade on the field. Kind of giving it up to Doyle. Again, patient as ever. You've got about 4 minutes, 45 seconds left. 35 on that shot clock. You don't need to force anything. Gave Spooner a break. Hartle shots off. And, I mean, it could have been kind of a toss-up there. Didn't look like it was on the inside, and the bounce really told us. Might have not been. Either way, Trine on that offensive end once again. What can they do with it? Weiss in the X, going to work. Ball tips out. Call. And whistle is blown. I believe this is going to give Weiss a free position shot, which the Hornets, one takeaway they can have today is need to clean it up defensively. You can't give teams as good as Hope opportunities like that. And there, shot just wide left from Weiss. I think the Hornets got a little fortunate. Weiss, one of the leading goal scorers. Almost surprising that she missed that one. But hey, a win is a win on the defensive end. And you can get back in this. Bring it back to your offensive squad. Colesel passes it nicely to Hine. That's a perfect pass. Another perfect pass to Fuller. It's as easy as that, and it has been all day for the Hornets.
Number 13, Tessa Fuller.
It has been a masterpiece the way they are passing the ball. You know, what type of drill do they run to be this accurate and find each other? It's just great eyes up the field. And that's going to be Fuller's 7th goal today. Both her and Spooner with 7 now. 15-point lead for the Hornets. Clock still ticking down at around 2:35 left for action out there. And the Hornets today, they can go away with a great win. Feeling super good about it. Spooner's back on the field after winning the draw. And you see Schneiderwind and Colesel in. You wonder, hey, if you want to get Colesel going, give her a shot. Find her on one of these cuts. Schneiderwind picks it up. And it's starting to get quiet and a little bit chilly now. I think it's going to be a cooler night. And looking ahead in sports, men's baseball plays tomorrow at home. Going to be a good matchup right around 2. Fuller tries to get a shot off, but big push from Schmaltz. And, I mean, she kind of tanked the fall. Good job of not getting hurt there. I mean, it's tough. So, Fuller again. If she gets this one, that's going to be her 8th goal today. Here she goes. Gets as close as she can. Kind of milks it. Well done by Fuller. You can tell how much confidence she has out there. And excuse me, I misspoke. Spooner only has 6. Fuller, that's going to be her 8th. I mean, wow. Just an incredible day for the Hornets. And this is just great for them. They've got 45 seconds on the clock. You can kind of go into that winning formation if you win the draw, where you can just do whatever. And historical day for them as well. I mentioned both Fuller and Spooner slipping their way into the record books, doing a great job of that, of course. Spooner only needs 3 more goals to be top 3 in goals scored this season, or in a single season, excuse me. Turnover by the Hornets going to go to Trine, and as the clock ticks down, you just kind of see him going away with it. And now this one is over there. Trine had a solid season of their own, but today the Hornets pull through successful, and you see some celebration there.
Today's final score, 21-5. The Kalamazoo Hornets have won this match.
Indeed, they have won this match. So
On behalf of the Michigan
a
Intercollegiate
fantastic
Athletics
day for
Association
them.
the
And
Collegiate
I
Credit
could go
Union,
over the
we'd like to thank you
statistics.
for
I
joining
will
us
just a
here
little
at
bit
Mackenzie
here.
Field.
16 out of those 21
College.
goals for the Hornets
Safe
off
travels,
assists. That's,
y'all.
of course, my highlight for every single game this women's team has. They're so unselfish. And, you know, you can look at that and compare it to any sport. When you have a team that can pass the ball like that, you can't complain. And today, Trine just really struggling out there. The Hornets did such an incredible job. It's something that, you know, Trine can't feel too bad about. They've had their wins today. I mean, Trine had some really great defensive opportunities, some really great moments passing the ball around, but when it comes to the end of this one, the Hornets take it away. So, next week, the Hornets, for that second round of the playoffs, are going to be facing off against Hope College away for that one, of course. Hoping for the best for them. And as they had a full head of steam going into the end of the season, they're praying they can keep that up. So, thank you all so much for joining me today. I'm Quentin Powers, and it's been a great season. See you all very soon.